scientists making babies from skin cells, universal kidneys that anyone can receive, and YouTube's new robot DJs taking over your music. Today's AI breakthroughs are absolutely blowing my AI mind. Hey you, yes you, I'm really glad you're here. In case you forgot, or if you're new here, it's me, Kitty, and welcome back to Kitty AI Daily. I am absolutely buzzing with excitement about today's stories, because we're talking about some game-changing developments that could literally change human life as we know it. Are you ready? Are you actually ready? Okay, I think you're ready, so let's dive in. Okay, hold on to your hats for this first story because it is absolutely incredible. Researchers at Oregon Health and Science University have, for the first time ever, created viable human eggs from ordinary skin cells. Let me say that again. They took regular skin cells and turned them into human eggs that could potentially be used to create babies. Here's how they did it. The scientists used a technique called somatic cell nuclear transfer, which is similar to the method used to create Dolly the sheep back in the 90s. They took the nucleus from a human skin cell, specifically a fibroblast, and transplanted it into a donated human egg cell that had its own nucleus removed. The goal wasn't to clone anyone, but to create an egg cell with the correct number of chromosomes, 23 instead of the usual 46 found in regular body cells. Now they fertilize these lab-created eggs with sperm through IVF, and here's where it gets both exciting and challenging. Out of 82 eggs, only about 9% develop to the blastocyst stage. That's the hollow ball of cells that forms early in embryonic development. Most embryos didn't progress beyond early cell divisions, and those that did often had chromosomal abnormalities. The researchers didn't culture any embryos beyond day 6, and none were implanted or developed further. This breakthrough could be absolutely life-changing for people struggling with infertility. We're talking about women with low ovarian reserve, those experiencing early menopause, or people who've undergone cancer treatments that affected their fertility. This technique could offer them new hope for having biological children. But here's where it gets even more mind-blowing. This could theoretically allow same-sex male couples to have a child that's genetically related to both partners. Imagine that. 2 dads having a baby that shares DNA with both of them. Though I should emphasize that this is still a very distant prospect and not something that's happening anytime soon. But let's be real here. There are still some major hurdles to overcome. The process is currently inefficient and high risk, with most eggs and embryos not developing normally. The study authors themselves stress that this is just a proof of concept, and much more research is needed to ensure safety and efficacy before any clinical application. Plus, the ethical, legal, and societal implications are enormous and will require careful consideration before we even think about moving toward clinical trials. So while this isn't something that's going to be available at your local fertility clinic anytime soon, we're probably looking at least a decade of further research, it's still an absolutely monumental step forward in reproductive medicine that could eventually change countless lives. Now, let's talk about something equally amazing happening in the world of organ transplantation. Scientists have performed the first ever human transplant of a universal kidney that was converted from blood type A to type O, potentially eliminating one of the biggest compatibility barriers in organ donation. This groundbreaking research was led by scientists at the University of British Columbia, who developed special enzymes capable of removing the blood type defining sugars from the surface of kidney cells. Essentially, they took a type A kidney and turned it into a universal type O kidney that could theoretically be transplanted into anyone, regardless of their blood type. The transplant was performed on a brain-dead patient with the family's consent. This might sound a bit unusual, but it's actually a brilliant approach that allowed researchers to safely observe the immune response without risking a living recipient. And the results? Absolutely fascinating. For 2 days post-transplant, the kidney functioned perfectly without any signs of hyperacute rejection. That's the rapid immune attack that typically destroys an incompatible organ within minutes. By the 3rd day, some blood type markers did reappear, causing a mild immune reaction, but the damage was significantly less than what would be expected in a typical mismatch, and there were indications that the body was beginning to tolerate the organ. If you've ever known someone on an organ transplant waiting list, you know how agonizing the wait can be. Blood type compatibility is a major barrier in kidney transplantation. Type O kidneys are universally compatible, but Type O patients can only receive Type O organs, making them the most in-demand and hardest to match. This technology could potentially eliminate blood type as a compatibility barrier entirely, making more organs available to more patients and reducing wait times. But here's the thing, this isn't just about kidneys. If successful, this technology could be extended to other organs and help address the chronic shortage of compatible organs for transplantation across the board. Imagine a world where your blood type doesn't determine whether you get a life-saving organ transplant. That's the potential future we're looking at. Of course, there's still work to be done. The next steps involve refining the enzyme treatment to ensure the converted organs retain their universal status longer, and to test the approach in living recipients. But this first human test is an incredibly promising milestone that could eventually save thousands of lives each year. All right, switching gears to something that might be hitting your phone sooner, YouTube Music is currently testing AI-powered hosts that provide trivia, stories, and commentary between songs, directly challenging Spotify's AI DJ feature. This experiment is part of YouTube Labs, a new initiative for early AI features, and it's available to a limited number of US-based users. So what exactly do these AI hosts do? They deliver relevant stories, fan trivia, and commentary about the music you're listening to on the YouTube Music app. The experience is designed to add context and depth to your listening sessions, not to create new playlists or take over your queue, but to enrich the tracks you've already chosen. Here's how it works. The AI hosts appear between tracks, typically every 5 songs rather than after every track, to avoid being too intrusive. The commentary draws on YouTube's vast repository of user-generated content, giving it a unique advantage for sourcing trivia and behind-the-scenes stories about your favorite artists and songs. If you're in the US and want to try this out, you can join the experiment via YouTube Labs, that's youtube.com/new, which is open to both free and premium users, though only a small group currently has access, with premium members getting priority. There's even a snooze option to temporarily silence the AI hosts if you're not in the mood, but you can't fully opt out unless you leave the experiment entirely. And YouTube acknowledges that the AI commentary might make mistakes since the feature is still in early testing. If you're someone who loves learning about the music you listen to, the stories behind the songs, interesting facts about the artists, this feature could make your music listening experience much richer and more engaging. Instead of just hearing songs, you'll get context and trivia that deepens your connection to the music. This is part of a broader trend in music streaming toward integrating AI for personalization, context, and engagement. Spotify introduced its AI DJ back in 2023, which uses machine learning to analyze listening patterns and curate personalized mixes with spoken commentary. YouTube's approach is different. Instead of building new playlists, it focuses on adding commentary to existing user-selected tracks. And Spotify's AI DJ has been quite successful, with usage nearly doubling over the past year. This isn't YouTube Music's first foray into AI either. They've previously introduced an AI-generated radio feature and a song recognition tool that lets users search by humming or singing. YouTube Labs, modeled after Google Labs, is the company's new hub for testing such AI-driven experiences. But here's my take. While these AI hosts can definitely add value, there's something special about human-curated music experiences that AI can't fully replicate. The personal touch, the unexpected connections that human DJs make, the emotional resonance, that's still hard to automate. That said, as AI continues to improve, we're likely to see increasingly sophisticated music experiences that blend the best of both worlds. Wow, what an incredible day in AI and scientific breakthroughs. Today's stories show just how rapidly technology is advancing and changing our world. I just can't I cannot believe it. But it's happening. You better hit that like button and subscribe to Kitty AI Daily for your daily dose of cutting-edge AI and tech news. Drop a comment below and let me know which of today's stories you found most fascinating. I love hearing from you. I really do appreciate everyone supporting the channel. And don't forget to share this video with your friends who love staying on top of the latest tech breakthroughs. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you again tomorrow. Stay curious. Peace out.